Hello, everybody. Nate Strong here from Nightingale Writing Center, and we're going to look briefly at verb tense. Tense refers to the time frame of a verb when the action or state of being for the verb occurred. Oftentimes we refer to verbs as being action words, but there are some verbs, they're not really actions. They're states of being. Words like seem. How do you seem? I you can't perform it. It's a state of being, but it's still a verb. All right. Touching on that quickly, let's jump into the tenses because there are three tenses in the English that we use for academic writing: past, present, and future. Now, some languages have more than three tenses, some have fewer, and what might be a surprise for you, some dialects of English have more than three tenses as well. But we tend not to use those dialects in academic writing. So for our purposes here, we're just looking at past, present, and future. All right, present, simple, easy cheesy. We shake hands. That can mean happening right now or habitually. We shake hands every Tuesday. Now, we also have past tense. We shook hands yesterday. And future tense, we will shake hands tomorrow. Now, each of these three tenses have greater nuance that we can express, and we talk about that in our video on verb aspects, so you can check that out. Because we indicate verbs in with a tense, we don't always need words like tomorrow or yesterday to make that time frame clear. That is a lot different from some languages that don't express any tense at all. And you have to use words like tomorrow or yesterday to make clear what time frame you mean. Not in English, we just alter the verb. Now, the forms used to mark tense depend on whether the verb is regular, meaning it fits the standard pattern for English verbs, or irregular, meaning it doesn't follow that standard pattern. So the irregular verbs, there are about 200 in English, and that sounds like a lot, but consider that we have thousands upon thousands of verbs in English, and so 200 is actually a very small percentage. And fortunately, they only follow 5 distinct patterns, and we list those patterns in materials on verbs in Nightingale Writing Center. So you can check out those irregular verbs and keep that list handy if that's something that is challenging. Now, I've been saying the irregular verbs are not such a big deal. The trick is that even though they make up a small percentage of the verbs, they're also mostly the verbs that we use most commonly. The most frequently used verbs tend to be irregular. So bear that in mind. So to jump back to regular verbs, meaning they all follow the same pattern, we'll take a look at that pattern of regular verbs with the verb walk. Now, no matter how or where you studied English, you have probably seen a chart that looks vaguely like this. Our present tense: I walk, we walk, you walk, she, he, it walks, they walk. So we just take the root verb walk, and for she, he, or it, or words that can replace those, something that we call third person singular, you just add an S. Simple. And for past tense, we just add ed to all of the forms. This should look pretty familiar. Now, there are two different ways to express future tense for English verbs, and these work exactly the same for both regular and irregular verbs. We can use the phrase be going to. I am going to walk. We are going to walk. She, he, or it is going to walk, and so on. Usually, we use this form that's happening closer in the future. And if we want to refer to something a little further out, we'll use the word will. I will walk, we will walk, etc. Now, be careful because this is not a 100% hard and fast distinction between be going to and will. It's more of a rule of thumb. All right, that's all that I have for the verb tense in English. There are other parts of verbs, and we have other recordings for that. And I hope that you'll check them out. Thank you very much. Flame forward and have a wonderful day. Bye now.